Hey folks, it's Jade, and welcome back to a new review for Crusader Kings 2 DLC. Today we have Jade Dragon, and basically it's a quick DLC for the eastern half of the map mostly, as it includes new features related to the Chinese Emperor. As usual, as for all DLCs, it comes with a free patch with a couple of nice features. We have some new casus belli to declare war in a much easier fashion, as well as 3 new religion, and there's also, as a free feature, a rework of the Silk Road mechanism, which changes how it flows a little bit depending on the status of the empire, and is also greatly boosting up the cities on the path. For the paid features, they're mostly restricted to the Far East. First, we have the new China screen, which lays out the Chinese Emperor and gives out some information. You can take some action concerning the Emperor himself. You can be trying to get into his grace, asking him for bonuses, or simply taking hostile actions against the Empire. Also allows you to become a tributary of the Chinese Emperor, which will grant it his protection against foreign invaders. Alternatively, you can also lead expeditions into China to reap out its richness, or simply invade it and put into the throne your own dynasty. China will also have some influence on the Western world. Notably, you will get some adventure leaving out China trying to seek fortune in the West. Or you can also ask the Emperor to send an invasion force, which will give you a lot of troops to perform any militaristic action. And you will need a lot of troops because we have 8 brand new casus belli that grants a lot of freedom to invade your neighbors. And we also have a great addition that was required for a while. We can set up rally points for troops, so whenever you raise the levies or call your vassals into a war, they will rally up all their troops into specific points on the map that you designate. And we also have a freebies of Chinese character portrait that are actually great looking for Crusader Kings 2 portrait, surprisingly. And that's basically it for the new additions in the title. It is a somewhat small DLC for Crusader Kings 2. There's not much change going on in the West outside of the new casus belli, so that's a little bit a moot point. If you are not close to the Chinese Emperor, this DLC brings very little into the game. And I can kind of understand that there isn't really any motive or drive to modify so much Crusader Kings 2 at this point anymore, because the game is running onto borrowed time at this point, and too much change cannot really be good. It is a fairly minor DLC compared, for example, to the Europa Universalis 4 DLC that we had on release out on the same day. I feel like that it is a much smaller product and brings in much less into the title than otherwise other titles have done. But I do believe there's some good side on this, because mostly this DLC made me play into India, whereas I haven't really ever played there ever since Rajas of Indias has been released. So that's a little plus for this DLC, but seriously, the Chinese Emperor is not that interesting of a feature. You have different status with the Emperor. From the China screen, you can see what's going on in the Empire. I don't like the feature that much. It's not that interesting. You can raid the Empire, invade it for richness, or you can try to bend out to the will of the Emperor and become his friend or vassal or tributaries. But outside of that, there's really nothing more in the game. The most interesting features of the DLC are the rally points, as well as the new casus belli. Don't think that's worth the asking price for the title, and hopefully that if we get more DLCs, they will be more focused and interesting. But now we can start to see a drowning out of the title Crusader Kings 2. and maybe a decline in the quality of the next DLC, as pretty much the entire map has been fleshed out, and the last major expansion in India created a lot of performance issues that took a while to fix. And at this point with this new addition, I feel like there's no drive to expand the map eastward. That would have been much more interesting to be able to play in China itself, or maybe up to Japan in the Crusader Kings 2 period, but it's pretty much a moot point right now, and these are features we will most likely never get around to see in the current title. But yeah, basically it's a pretty generic DLC. In my opinion, it's not really worth it. It didn't add so much enjoyment to Crusader Kings 2. And hopefully you've liked this small review. And if you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.